I guess my only other question, or only other question, I'm sure there might be one more, but string theory, how does that, if at all, tie into anything these days? Because I haven't heard anything about that in a while, and I just wonder, is that still something that people are considering, or is it kind of gone? And string and M theory, basically.
Well, there are people who still are spending their career studying that.
Okay.
But it was, um, for a while there, for, I don't know, 20 years, people were incredibly excited. They thought it was a path forward. And, after, I don't know, maybe even 30 years of working on it, we're no closer to testing it, or maybe we're not much closer to testing it than we were in the beginning. And so if you're a scientist, I mean, you can do all this bit about this math prediction, that math prediction, blah, 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 but you got to eventually compare it to some sort of measurement. And, given that there's no way to test it, it's almost religion. And so the people loved it because they had hopes,
Yeah.
but they just said, after years, they say, well, we can't test it. We don't know if it's right. And, therefore the enthusiasm dropped. It's not that we know that it's wrong. Nobody
Yeah.
disproved string theory. It might be right, but if it's not testable, how would you know?
Of course.
So that's
Okay.
where we are.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. That clears that up for me. I guess finally, kind of like a more personal thing. I'm sure I'm going to come back and ask you more your personal stuff, um, your personal feelings on some of these things later on. Um, but where do you kind of see where do you kind of see us in, say, uh, let's say 30 years with respect to the path we're on now and what we currently know, because they had that whole image of the black hole thing not too long. Was it an image of the black hole?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so, in the same vein as some of these new telescopes, say 100 years ago, what and then allowed us to do stuff. What does that kind of level of imaging, or like understanding, where are we precision wise? Where do you think that will take us, with the knowledge and stuff, like say in the next 20 to 30 years?
Well, telescopes wise, I mean, I'm not an astronomer, so I don't know everything, but the problem is we've done such a damn good job. I mean, the Hubble Space Telescope is what, 30, 40 years old now, and it was absolutely astonishing and so forth. But beating it is really tricky. So there's a thing called the James Webb Space Telescope that they're uh, um, hoping to launch next year, and it will be an improvement over Hubble, but it's not going to be 10 times better. It's not going to be 10 times better because Hubble was so damn good. So what we will continue to do, like in terms of the origins of the universe, the Hubble Space Telescope is able currently that came into existence 400 million years after the Big Bang. James Webb is going to be able to image galaxies that are 200 million years after the Big Bang. So, it gets you back another factor of 2, but it's only a factor of 2. And it will do other things too. It will look for more nearby, things in our solar system.